thinking for 5 years, and really, really funny. Okay, in other news, I do want to issue a hearty congratulations to Jack Antonoff. Jack Antonoff, of course, is the fellow who was dating Lena Dunham for 5 years, and he finally broke up with her, which means that either he awoke from his coma and realized that he was in bed next to Lena Dunham, or it took him 5 years to chew through his own arm and escape the basement. But congratulations to Jack Antonoff for escaping a lifetime of that horror show. All I can think of when I think of Jack Antonoff is that shot of Tim Robbins at the end of Shawshank Redemption with his hands up in the air as the rain pours down on him after crawling through a mile of stinking sewage, 3 football fields. Good day for Jack Antonoff. Good day for Jack Antonoff. Okay, time for one quick thing that I hate, and then I want to deconstruct culture. While I was gone, the Democrats decided that it would be a great idea to double down on everything terrible that they ever thought about anything, which is just a genius move. One day, thousands of years from now, people will look back and they will see that Americans liked Lena Dunham, or at least some Americans liked Lena Dunham, for example, and they will say to themselves, why? Just why? Like, why Lena Dunham? Why? There is no answer. I mean, those are cosmic questions that people will be asking themselves generations from now. But the Democrats are addicted to Lena Dunham. They love Lena Dunham because they love people who have the charisma and the brains and the looks of a russet potato. But apparently, the left just loved it. So Lena Dunham was at the DNC, as you recall. They loved her so much they put her on stage at the DNC, and here is what that looked like.
I am a pro-choice, feminist, sexual assault survivor with a chronic reproductive illness. Donald Trump and his party think I should be punished for exercising my constitutional rights. His rhetoric about women takes us back to a time when we were meant to be beautiful and silent. Meanwhile, 22 years ago, Hillary Clinton declared that women's rights are human rights.
Okay, so one of the more delicious elements of this election cycle has been watching Lena Dunham's continued mental meltdown over Donald Trump's victory. Well, now Lena Dunham says that she wishes that she had had an abortion. Right? She says she wishes that she'd had an abortion. She said, apparently, she informed her audience on her podcast that while she's never had an abortion personally, she wishes she had so she could do her part to reduce stigma around the issue. And she said, I can say I still haven't had an abortion, but I wish I had. Wow. Okay, so if Democrats are looking to win Americans, probably the best way to do that is not to trot out at the DNC the lady who says that she wished that she had had a baby in her stomach, in her uterus, just so that she could murder the baby, so that she could feel the solidarity and joy of having murdered a baby. I mean, it really is pretty egregious stuff. Democrats usually have the brains to cover up their enthusiasm about abortion. They usually have the brains to say things like Bill Clinton's safe, legal, and rare, or it's a tragic decision a woman has to make, right? Ignoring, of course, the fact that if it's a tragic decision, then you shouldn't be allowed to do it, right? The whole idea of legalizing abortion rests on the notion that it's not a tragic decision. It's the same thing as removing a polyp. But the Democrats usually don't speak in that sort of language because they understand that it alienates people. But Lena Dunham full-on embraces it. She says that she wishes that she'd had an abortion so she could be part of the select sisterhood of women who have engaged and pursued the youth. The best story of the day is this story about Lena Dunham, and I would just be remiss if I didn't lead off with it because it is so grand and so glorious, and she is such a terrible person in every way. This, of course, is Lena Dunham, the wildly unattractive star of Girls. The reason that I point out that she's wildly unattractive is because she has said in the past that if you find her wildly unattractive, it's because you're sexist. No, it's because you have eyes. So Lena Dunham, apparently, she's lied about a bunch of things in the past. She said in the past, the star of Girls, she campaigned with Hillary Clinton. She has said in the past that she was raped by a Republican named Barry. Not true. She has said that she did not abandon her dog. She just was given a dog that had a history of being abused. Also not true. And now her latest story, her latest iteration in her stupidity cycle, comes courtesy of American Airlines. So on Thursday, Dunham tweeted that she overheard 2 American Airlines employees speaking about how they believed that the transgender agenda was terrible for children. Horror! Shock! No, they must be stopped. It's just too terrible. She tweets out late last night, quote, at this moment in history, we should be teaching our employees about love and inclusivity, American Air. That was worst part of this night. Everything that she does is always about the drama, right? Oh, it's the worst thing that ever happened. It's just the worst part of the night. I can't handle it. And American Airlines wrote back, you have us concerned. Please meet us in DMs with your record locator and details. What they really should have said is, you have us concerned. Please see a psychologist as soon as humanly possible. And then she started DMing with them. And here's what she said, quote, Hi, I heard 2 female attendants walking, talking about how trans kids are a trend. They'd never accept a trans child, and transness is gross. I think it reflects badly on uniformed employees of your company to have that kind of dialogue going on. What if a trans teen was walking behind them? Awareness starts at home, but jobs can set standards of practice. Thanks for your consideration. So in other words, there are 2 women walking along talking about one of the hottest issues of the day, trans children, right? Kids who believe that they are a member of the opposite sex. And these women were saying, I would not accept it if my child said that they were a member of the opposite sex, which is perfectly rational, since you shouldn't really accept that because your child is not a member of the opposite sex. You should look for treatment. And this idea that, as a parent, you should accept this new idiocy foisted on Americans by leftist society, it's just dumb all the way through. But she says, big sister Lena Dunham, big sister, the one who said that she once pleasured herself next to 11-year-old sister, so she's not just big brother, she's big sister, and the best kind of big sister. Big sister reports that to American Airlines. What if someone had been walking behind them? Someone was, and she was a terrible person. So she reported that, and then she said, I wasn't flying American. This was at JFK, and I was in a terminal with American attendants. And American wrote back, do you know what gate this was at? She said, I was in the arrivals hall coming from gate B30 to baggage by the Hudson News across from the wine bar. Okay, Stalin. I mean, my God, just reporting people for having normal conversation in the hallways at JFK, like this is what this has come to now. It wasn't manifesting in their behavior toward trans people. It wasn't manifesting in how they treated any of the trans customers. It wasn't manifesting in anything, even assuming all of this is true. They said, thanks for the info, Lena. We're passing this along to our team to review. And she wrote back, thank you. And then she wrote, hashtag across from the wine bar. So now we're now like targeting and tracking down anyone who has wrong think. I mean, this is Orwellian garbage. Orwellian garbage. Number one, these women can say whatever they like. Even if they'd been saying stuff that was really anti-Semitic, do you think that I would have gone to American Airlines and said, you have these 2 vicious anti-Semites working for your company? Like, get over it. Get over it. It's a free country. You may think that people are terrible. That doesn't give you the excuse to destroy their jobs. As I said, on Sunday we did a Q&A. As I said, if it's not impacting how they do their job, it makes no difference. Okay, then there's a big, and then she tweeted, for those who followed my airport saga yesterday, here's my takeaway. These days it's the little things. A smile, offering a seat, respect. You mean the little things like not getting people fired because you're a giant douchebag of a human being? Like the little things like not targeting random passersby who happen to disagree with you on a hot political issue of the day? I mean, God, heavens forfend if they had said they voted for Trump. I mean, my God, then Lena Dunham really would have reported them to American Airlines. Except there's one extra wrinkle to this story, as always. American Airlines checks out the story, and on Friday they told Fox News, quote, we always look into complaints from customers, but at this time we are unable to substantiate these allegations. So there is no evidence that any of this happened at all. And Lena Dunham, once again, is just saying crap, because this is what Lena Dunham does to get attention. Leftists, I never give you advice because I want you to continue to be a giant fail. But here's a piece of advice. Stop associating with nutcases like Lena Dunham if you want people to take you seriously. Number one, having your little emissaries going around and reporting people in USSR, East Bloc Stasi fashion, when they say things you don't like, that's gross enough. Having them lie about it or say it without evidence is really, really super gross. And at this point, the fact that the left continues to hang on to Lena Dunham just like they hang on to Linda Sarsour is just demonstrative of the fact that they don't care about middle America. They don't care about people who disagree. They want the heroes that they want, and it doesn't matter if those people are garbage heaps. Those people must be upheld. It doesn't matter that Lena Dunham is a personal dumpster fire. They're going to continue to label her just the woman of the year. Amazing, amazing stuff. But that's just another great story from the Lena Dunham annals of joy. This is Ben Shapiro, and this is The Ben Shapiro Show. Lena Dunham continues to be Lena Dunham. And one of the things that is amazing about Lena Dunham is that Lena Dunham actually thinks that she is some sort of poetic genius. So she's now written a poem. She's now written a poem called Monday After March. Monday After March. Here we go. From Human Potato, Lena Dunham. Donald Trump only recognizes the humanity of women who look like his daughter. But after this weekend, he better know that we are all his daughters. Rebellious ones. The kind who steal the car keys and the wallet and sneak out before we can be stopped. The kind who F with his friends and flirt with his enemies. The kind who turn it out and rage out. The kind who don't give a bleep what our daddies think and recognize the way so many fathers have failed us. Okay, so if we're going to talk about fathers that fail, why don't we start with Lena Dunham's father? Really, let's start with Lena Dunham's father. Lena Dunham's father apparently put up pictures of vaginas all over the walls of her New York City apartment growing up. Lena Dunham's father apparently saw nothing wrong with his daughter even while his daughter was sexually abusing his other daughter. Lena Dunham's father was this kind of Art Nouveau, ridiculous, she leftist, and he brought up a daughter like Lena Dunham who thinks that males are the worst thing ever. So if we're going to talk about bad dads, let's start with Lena Dunham's dad, because clearly he did a crappy job at raising his daughter. I love the fact that she says that we are all Donald Trump's daughters. Donald Trump didn't know that. I mean, he's not paying enough child support if that's the case. I like that she says that they're the kinds who steal the car keys and the wallet and sneak out before we can be stopped. Her idea of feminine independence is being a 15-year-old rebellious girl. This may be the problem with Lena Dunham's life. Maybe one of the reasons you're so miserable, gal, is because 15-year-old girls are not typically particularly happy, the kinds who steal the car keys and go out with their friends. That's not the hallmark of happiness. And when she says that this is the fault of fathers that have failed us, that we don't care, it says the kind who don't give a bleep what our daddies think and recognize, the way so many fathers have failed us. Maybe you should care what your parents think because your parents are wiser than you sometimes. First of all, Donald Trump is not your daddy. It's amazing. It's amazing that even the folks on the left, they worship government so much that they can't even acknowledge that Trump isn't their father. Right? Yesterday, we had a whole spiel about this with Kellyanne Conway. Government is not your parent. Donald Trump is not your dad. The media is not your mom. But Lena Dunham is so ensconced in this leftist worldview that Donald Trump is her father, and it gives her an excuse to act like a bratty teenage child and go out there and rage about her vagina for no apparent reason. It's pretty incredible that Lena Dunham is considered a up-and-coming voice on the left, a person who spoke at the Democratic National Convention. You want to know why the DNC continues to fall apart? They continue to fall apart because they give respect to ideological, ridiculous people, just ideological clowns like Lena Dunham, who thinks that this represents some sort of deep art rather than the angst-filled musings of a diary-writing 15-year-old girl with an absentee dad. It's just insane. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.